Americans think that they finally got rid of the Necromancer with those last shots. It turns out that Sungwoo easily brushed away the impact from the cannons using the other wyverns as a shield. Sungwoo says that it's too early to celebrate, but they are still getting excited. Sungwoo uses his bone manufacturing skill. He forms a lot of huge bone fists and launches them toward one of the airships. The shield around airship keeps on absorbing the damage from the fists. Sungwoo keeps on bombarding the ship as some cracks appear on the shield, and the other American ships try to shoot Sungwoo, but they can't do it since their own airship is in the way. The airship on the front manages to hit one of the fists above them, and the fist shatters. There were a few orc corpses inside the fist which get dropped down on the airship. As soon as the corpses land on the airship, Sungwoo uses corpse explosion to blow the players on deck. The airship is well built and it's hard to sink it with just corpse explosions. Sungwoo gets ready to test out one of his newer abilities called high pressure explosion. All of a sudden the corpses left on the deck start swelling up. A notification appears informing Americans that high pressure explosion is applied to 11 corpses and there are 29 seconds left until they detonate. After the timer is up, the whole airship bursts out in huge flames. Victor Lich is quite happy as these corpses were collected by him and now there are only 3 ships remaining. Meanwhile, inside the main airship of the Americans, the commanders are sad that they lost Pittsburgh airship as well. This view in front of them is shocking because not even a single ship has been destroyed until now. Admiral Baker shoots down one of them in cold blood while saying that you guys should have followed my orders from the start and got rid of the useless ships. Admiral Baker orders the remaining captains to order everyone to fall back, plus he orders them to retreat from the Hypergate project as well. Finally, Admiral Baker asks the last useless captain if he can just do this simple task, and the captain agrees to do it. Meanwhile, American soldiers are getting manhandled on another front as well. Han-ho and Jisoo-yoon report back that they have successfully taken over the Hypergate. While Sungwoo was busy with the main fleet, they ambushed the Americans guarding the Hypergate, but Jisoo-yoon has her doubts as it was suspiciously easy. Sungwoo asks about the status of the Hypergate, and Han-ho informs him that it's on 97% completion rate, and it can be completed after injecting a little bit more mana. Lieutenant Kim informs Sungwoo that the iron pillars are set and the items are ready. Meanwhile, Jonathan Cage is quite amazed to witness the fall of Admiral Baker's fleet. By now, the WPU must have received the news of their defeat, even if Admiral Baker didn't report it back. The lack of contact must have tipped them off to prepare for an invasion. Jisoo-yoon says that they must be quite busy, and Han-ho says that as a raider this seems like the perfect time to strike. Sungwoo informs Jonathan that they will head to Washington right away, the next day at the American naval base. A loudspeaker informs everyone to dock their fleet and be prepared. An American captain says that it feels like they are training stray dogs. They made them prepare for 4 hours to only cancel it at the last moment. The captain asks David if he found out what happened. David informs the captain that rumors from the bridge says the Admiral's fleet might have sunk. But the captain is in disbelief since he knows well about Admiral Baker. Last time when they invaded Philadelphia, they only had 1 casualty, and that poor guy was shot by Admiral Baker as well. The captain thinks that Admiral Baker might have ended the war. He is sure that little rookie from the Asia could not match Admiral Baker. Admiral Baker must have found some rare treasures, and he must be keeping it all to himself without reporting back. One of the soldier informs Captain that the gate is activating. All of a sudden, a lot of tree veins come out of the Hypergate. The tree veins wrap around one of the airships and pull it back into the gate. After a few minutes, the Americans can feel a lot of mana outburst from the gate. With that being said, Sungwoo comes out of the Hypergate along with his Wyvern army. American captain orders the fleet to get airborne immediately. These tree vines seem to be coming out from the iron pillars that Lieutenant Kim planted. The airship comes out of the Hypergate and Lieutenant Kim orders everyone to get on board and get rid of the passengers. Other airships try to get in the air, but there are too much crowded in a small space, which causes a lot of chaos. Lieutenant Kim is quite impressed with the World Tree as they just stole an entire ship from their enemies. This is a mythical item known as Veins of the World Tree. In order to use it, one end of the vein needs to be tied to something and the other to an object to pull it with tremendous force. A notification pops up informing them that the Hypergate will soon close in 7 minutes and 49 seconds. Lieutenant Kim orders all World Tree faction members to hurry up and subdue the enemies before the gate closes. Meanwhile, on the other side, Sungwoo just took care of the entire American fleet. Jonathan is with Sungwoo and he informs him that the ground forces will soon start to move. He accessed the American community server using the captured phone and found out where Chairman Love is being held. With that being said, Sungwoo starts quickly moving toward the location. Han-ho is quite amazed that he finally stepped onto the American soil after the fall, and Jisoo-yoon asks about a strange building. Jonathan informs them that it is the dwarf workshop. All sorts of enchanted weapons and airships are made there. Sungwoo's eyes widen up as he hears about this race, which can make him a lot of profit in the future. But Jonathan informs them that it's just a nickname. It's just a workshop where 100 blacksmiths work together. Their synergy earned them the dwarf title. After some time, they arrive at the WPU Special Detention Center, and Ji-soo-yun points out that it does not seem to be thoroughly guarded. They see some players on the ground, and Jonathan informs them that they are his allies, and they got here first. After seeing Jonathan safe and sound, one of the players becomes overjoyed with happiness. Jonathan informs him that he was lucky and he had people helping him. That's how he made it out alive. One of the female players tells Jonathan that you have worked hard. This woman turns out to be Chairman Love, and Jonathan informs her that this problem arose from his poor handling of the situation, but since the truth came out, soon things will start to change. Chairman Love says that things are already changing. Chairman Love tells Sungwoo that she don't know how to thank him enough, and Sungwoo is thinking that maybe she is planning to brush away all of his hard work with some empty words. But Sungwoo's attitude towards her changes as she mentions that she will compensate him well with materials. She further asks Sungwoo to come with them to the capital and inform the people in there about the truth. All of a sudden, Chairman Love realizes that all commotion around them has stopped. It turns out that Asura Hanho and Ji-soo-yun already took care of the elite unit. Even Chairman Love is impressed by their prowess. Ji-soo-yun says that these elite guards are weak, they have no combat skill, and their levels are low as well. Chairman Love is thinking that it must be the backlash of Americans relying on the fleet's strength to overcome danger. Chairman Love informs them to move quickly since this is their only chance to bring down the core of the WPU in one blow. There is an important conference going on in the assembly. Chairman Love along with Sungwoo barges into the conference. Other senators mock her for bringing an undead army inside this sacred place. Chairman Love shouts out loud telling them to get a hold of themselves. The senators shut up after hearing her scream. She informs them that team leader Jonathan Cage of Messenger Corps, who was reported to have perished, is alive, and the Necromancer who attacked him is also here. The senators are a bit taken back since they thought Jonathan was killed by the Necromancer. Jonathan informs them that Admiral Baker has long been plotting to seize control of the Provisional Assembly. Jonathan has reported the truth to Chairman Love, so he tells them to listen to her. With that being said, Chairman Love gives them details about how Admiral Baker planned out this whole facade. After hearing the truth, the assemblymen start cursing Admiral Baker for fooling them, but someone present on the sidelines is not happy with this explanation. Gordon gets up as he shouts out that they don't really know for sure if the person present in front of them is the real Jonathan Cage. He points toward Jonathan while saying that this person could have used doppelganger transformation magic in order to deceive us all. Sungwoo asks about the origin of these people and Jonathan informs him that they are Admiral Baker's closest friends. Gordon further informs them that Admiral Baker is alive and well. He is conserving his strength in the allied Japanese server, and he will exact revenge on the Korean server after recuperating. Chairman Love tells Gordon to give up since all he has done to this point are just meaningless sacrifices. Gordon shouts out loud saying that if they are buried under humanitarianism, they will never regain a strong America. They will only end up under the rule of that corpse manipulator. Sungwoo is quite pissed at Gordon for his unnecessary speech, but Gordon keeps on rambling about them being the greatest free nation in history, and they will be ruined if they follow this undead manipulator. Jonathan further informs them that Gordon is the right-hand man of Admiral Baker. He is ranked 7th in the American server. He is known for his tremendous strength, but as you can see, he has a nasty temper. Gordon then starts slandering Jonathan for whispering to some zombie who is eating up our freedom, and if he has no pride as an American. After hearing his ramblings, Ji-soo-yun gets triggered and she moves forward telling Gordon that your pride does not match your skills. Gordon runs forward to teach this brat a lesson. Gordon uses dynamite punch on Ji-soo-yun. Ji-soo-yun easily blocks the dynamite punch of Gordon with a single finger, and she comments that the 7th rank of American server is so weak. After that, she slashes Gordon into spaghetti. She asks others if anyone else needs an attitude adjustment. Sungwoo tells them all that now it's time to discuss appropriate compensation for the crimes you guys committed on our land. Few hours pass by and the conference ends. Chairman Love informs Sungwoo that she plans to provide compensation to his satisfaction, but if he is also open to investments for cooperation. Hanho says that it feels like we are hired thugs taking money from politicians. Sungwoo is thinking that he can even growl behind them if they can pay the right price. Sungwoo says that as compensation, he wants to visit the dwarf workshop. Chairman Love agrees, and they start moving toward the dwarf workshop. Hanho says that it feels like they are looking at an ancient structure like the pyramids. Hanho asks about the lights, and Jonathan informs them that it is blessing magic. The building itself is imbued with blessing magic. It activates the necessary blessings depending on the item being crafted. Sungwoo is thinking that it's not on par with the world tree, but being able to create blessings themselves makes them ahead of us in manufacturing. Inside the workshop, the workers are still busy making products. They arrive near an otherworldly-looking structure with some people on top of it. One of the bearded players shouts at the other for not focusing while tempering, and he keeps on throwing all kinds of slur to the worker. Sungwoo is thinking that this guy is definitely a dwarf, but Jonathan informs them that he is just a stubborn old man. The old man recognizes Jonathan among the new crowd. He jumps down saying that you are showing up in a swarm without prior permission. You deserve to be thrown into a furnace. Jonathan asks Master Hurst if he don't know what's going on outside, and Master Hurst bursts out in anger saying that he knows quite well. The airships they poured blood and sweat into have been smashed to bits. He tells them to get lost and not expect anything for a while. Sungwoo informs him that he is not from WPU and he is just here with a crafting request from outside. Master Hurst says that he knows well that Sungwoo is the one who destroyed all of his airships, and now he came here with these WPU punks. Master Hurst further asks him if Sungwoo has money. Sungwoo says that he has money beyond Master Hurst's imagination. After hearing that, Master Hurst quickly takes them to his office. Hurst introduces himself as Arnold Hurst, master of this workshop. His class is Elder Blacksmith. He can organize the workshop, grant additional professions, and train blacksmiths. It was already getting dull with those Washington customers, and he asks Sungwoo about what he wants to be made. Sungwoo says that he needs a safe space from cold if he wants to take out his item, and Master Hurst informs him that there is no safer place for crafting than this workshop. Sungwoo asks him if it won't interfere with other work, since even slight temperature changes can alter the outcome of a product. Master Hurst says that he likes the sound of it, and he tells Sungwoo to wait here. In a few minutes, a lot of metal materials arrive there. Master Hurst starts to use the materials to make something. Master Hurst informs Sungwoo that it cost 100,000 gold to make this safety box, and this will be billed to Sungwoo as well, and Sungwoo agrees to it. Sungwoo summons one of his skeleton minions inside the safety box. The skeleton minion is carrying the frozen seed, and even Master Hurst is amazed after seeing this item. Master Hurst says that it is the most disgusting thing I have ever seen, and he asks Sungwoo about what should he make with that. Sungwoo tells him to make a small portable hand pistol like this one. Master Hurst says that it's insane. Making a personal weapon from that is like asking to make a revolver out of plutonium. Sungwoo asks him if it is impossible. Then he will just pay for the box and leave. There are skilled craftsmen in the Korean server as well, but Master Hurst tells him to wait. Nothing is impossible at Hurst Workshop. It's just that he will end up with a lot of headaches. After discussing the details, Sungwoo returns to his lodging. During nighttime, he has a one-on-one meeting with Chairman Love. She says that America is such a complicated land. It's vast with 3 servers. Its diversity in race and culture inevitably leads to many factions. But they overcome all hardships together. First, they allied with the Central and Canadian servers. After that, the Japanese server. And now they have also made contact with the Korean server. They thought they were doing well without major losses, but this incident has made her realize that they are still unprepared. But she won't give up or wait for long. It's a world where anything could happen if they are late. She hopes that Sungwoo will join them in uniting the world. Sungwoo says that it's a complicated story. But more importantly, are not the monsters growing in the Amazon the real problem? Chairman Love says that you are right, and she further asks him if he has that dragon hatchling with him, and Sungwoo replies with a yes. Chairman Love informs Sungwoo that there is an adult dragon in the Amazon.